Good afternoon. This is Miss Novick. I thought I'd give you guys an update on our grading policy, all right, and how this is going to work. So for your math and ELA, these are full year courses, all right. So for full year courses, how it's going to work is that if you had a marking period 1 grade of 80, marking period 2 grade of 85, and a marking period 3 grade of 90, what we're going to do is we're going to average those 3 grades. We're going to average them up, okay? So you want to look back at your marking period 1, marking period 2, and marking period 3, all right, and you want to average them up, all right? So you average them. The way you find an average is you add up and divide by how many there are, okay? You guys should know this, all right, because we've done this. So 85, excuse me, I did that in the last video, 80 plus 85 plus 90, okay? And you divide that by 3, and you get your average is an 85. That means you will get an 85% for marking period 4. This isn't going to show up on the Home Access Center. We're just going to type it in for you. Now, if you do your online work, you will get 10 percentage points higher, okay? If you have adequate participation, okay, you can get 10 percentage points higher. So this 85 could be bumped to a 95%. Then what we're going to do is we're going to average all 4 of the marking period grades and the midterm, right? So we want to think of what is the midterm grade. So let's say that this student had the midterm grade of, let's say they got a 70, okay? So what you would do then is you would say, well, that's my midterm grade. All right, I'm going to take 80, 85, 90, 95, and 70 and average those up. And how do you find the average? You add them up and you would divide by how many? 5. That's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So in your calculator, okay, you would just add them up. So you would say, all right. So in your calculator, you would clear this out and you're going to say, well, I'm going to figure out my score would be 80. All right. Plus 85 plus 90 plus 95. Whoop, whoop. You did your work. Plus 70 on the midterm, 420, and you're going to divide that by 5. Okay? That's not what I want it to look like. Let's try that again. Okay, so you would do what? You do 80 plus 85 plus 90 plus 95. Okay? All right, you're going to add the midterm on, so plus 70. Okay? And you get 420, and then you're going to take that 420, you're going to divide that by 5, okay? 420 divided by 5 is 84, so that means that your final course grade for this student would be an 84%, okay? And a little later, I'll show you a little worksheet you guys can use to calculate your grade, okay? All right, so let's look at this is what I did for all my students. So all my students, this is what I did. All right, actually I have a whole spreadsheet with your names and student IDs and everything like that on it. All right, and here we have, this is a particular student's marking period 1 grade. This is the example I wanted to look at. So this student's marking period 1 grade was a 56, a 55, a 63, and a 61. So I averaged 1, 2, 3, averaged these 3 grades up, okay? And then this is their grade for marking period 4. So I know I call that average. Really, that's your marking period 4 grade. Okay? All right, your marking period 4 grade, and this is going to work for your math class and your ELA class. So your final grade without that would be all 3 of these added together and then divided by 5. Okay? That's if you don't do any packet work. So this particular student would not be passing if they didn't do packet work. Okay, if this student did their packet work, that would bring their grade up to a 60, okay, which would be passing, and that's a big difference between not passing and passing. I mean, we would add 10 points to this score right here, okay? And so just looking at some other students, so this student, I can only average marking period 2 and marking period 3 because this student, I guess, wasn't present marking period 1. That's their average. Halfway between 56 and 76 is 66, all right? Without a packet, they have a D, but if without the online work, if they do have their online work, then they would have a C, which is a big difference. So there's a couple students were in this area where, you know, whether or not they do their online work, it does make a difference whether or not they earn a C or a B or in this case a B or an A. And trust me, these points, they make a big difference when you go to figure out your GPA. So if you're in that situation, you want to dial into it. Now I want to show you guys a little worksheet you can use to figure out what your grade is. Okay, so what we're going to do here, so you're going to fill out your marking period 1, marking period 2, marking period 3 grades. Then you're going to do this little activity here. You're going to do this plus this plus this and divide by 3. Now, if you were only in for 2 marking periods, then you're just going to divide it by, you would just divide it by 2, okay? You find the average, add them up, divide by how many there are. And so you would get a number in here, and then you would say, I didn't do my online work. So if you didn't do your online work, okay, you're just going to copy it right in here. Okay, so you're just going to say, I'm going to copy this, copy, okay? But if you did, you're going to say, oh, I did my online work, so I'm going to add 10. Whatever I get here, I'm going to add 10 to it. Okay, add 10 points to this. All right, you're going to copy down your midterm, go on your report card to look at that. And then once you're done, what you want to find is you want to add up all 5 things that you have. 1, 2, 3, okay, the midterm, and then pick one of these, okay? If you did not do your online work, you're going to put this one in. If you do your online work, you're going to put this one in. And you want to find the average of those scores, okay? You want to find the average of those scores. So the average, so your final grade, okay, would be the average of MP1, MP2, marking period 3, your midterm, and either this or this, okay? Either, let's pause this, and either what you have written here, see where the star is? Okay, either the star, or if you did your work and you got 10 points more, you got your heart, or that, okay, or that. Either your star, I want to edit this. And how do you do that? You add them up. So you would add up your number here, your number here, your number here, your number here, and whatever you have here or here, not both of them, and then you divide. So add them up, and there should be 5, and divide by 5. And that will be your final grade, okay? That's how you determine your grade for your full-length courses, all right? So make a copy of this on your paper. Let me clean it up a little bit. Fill it out. If you have questions about how to fill it out, you know, take a picture of it and send it to me, and I can tell you, all right, kind of how you would fill it out. But that's how your final grade is being determined for this class. You might have a question. You might say, well, Ms. Novick, my grade looks like, let's see, so I had a 71st marking period. I had like an 82nd marking period. And then on the midterm, I did pretty well. I got a 75 and then a 50 here. Okay, I kind of took a nosedive. So let's just do this little situation here, right? Let's say, so I have a 70 plus an 80 plus a 50, okay, and I divide that by 3, all right, I have a 67%, okay? Let's say I said I'm not doing any online work, I can't get to it, I'm struggling, I have a lot of stuff I'm dealing with at home, and I have a 67%, right? Let's say that's the situation I'm in. I'm not doing this, so I wouldn't even figure out what my online work is. I just wouldn't figure it out, okay? So when I go to figure out my average, I'm going to put together my 70, my 80, my 50, my 67, okay, and my 75. And let's add them up and see how many there are. So let's see. So we clear it out. So it's 70 plus 80 plus 50 plus 67 is my average for that marking period, plus 75 divided by 5. Okay? Now something's wrong with that because I should have more than a 42% if that's what I did. So let's see what the heck happened here. 71st marking period plus 82nd marking period plus 50 that marking period plus a 67 plus 75. Is that the number I just got? 342? 1, 2, 3, and I divide that by 5. Okay. 68.4. So this student has a 68, they're going to get a 68.4. Okay, because that's what they're going to get. That's going to be the student's final grade, is 68%. Okay? If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. I know this was 10 minutes, it's a little bit long, but there's a lot of good information in here. Just to review, this is for your full-length courses. That's another class. Where is it? Okay, and what I'm looking for is that most of your Khan Academy videos, you get those 10 points if they're 75% or higher. Okay, thank you for hanging with me for this vid.